Welcome back. And just as a reminder, this theme for World Ocean Day 2021 is the ocean, life and livelihoods. And to celebrate this theme, the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Learning Center and Proteus Ocean Group have decided to highlight the local community in Curacao by taking a closer look at the locals' perspective and their relationship to the ocean. Now, in this web series, which is called The Human Ocean Connection, Thoughts and Conversations with the local Curaçaoan community and host yours truly, Fabien Cousteau, we really hope to shed a light on the wonder of the ocean and to see how it is a life source for them. We want to get a local perspective from the folks who are living and working on this beautiful, rich, and biodiverse Caribbean island nation of Curacao. Now, in full disclosure, the Proteus Ocean Group and the Fabien Cousteau Ocean Learning Center have projects scheduled to be in Curacao because it's such a unique, beautiful place. From building the International Space Station of the Sea, so that we can not only do advanced research in this unique marine ecosystem, but also have it as a broadcast studio so that the world at large can peek below the blue veneer. And part of our mission is really to elevate the voice of the local community. Now, today, I am really thrilled to be able to have on with me Mayrond van Lamon, who is a local Curaçaoan since birth, and he has an amazing journey that he's taken on in his life to be able to share with us. Without stealing of that thunder, I want to welcome Mayrond. Thank you for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys, yes, of course. First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm a big fan, so I very much love it. From me, my part, I'm Mayrond van Lamon. Live in Curacao, born and raised, and I come from a fisherman family, raised up with my mother especially and my grandmother's family. And we live in Maripampung, that's very close to the coast of the island. And we used to go fishing every day. We lived from fishing. It was sustaining our family. And also we sold to other and trade with other families since I was born. And before me also, it was happening already. And I just grew up in that system and be much more living from the ocean and a lot more connected with the ocean.
Now, your life's journey brought you beyond Curacao, if I'm not mistaken. You have a curiosity that it sounds like you went overseas to the Netherlands and then came back. Why is that?
Yes, correct. Growing up on the island, always you hear about studying abroad, especially in the Netherlands. You get much more possibilities. So I give it a try because I wanted to see much more of the world and not just the island. And while being in Netherlands, it opened my mind much bigger, and I saw much more things than only Curacao. But with that knowledge, I came back and I immediately went in the tourism business. Worked in tourism since then for about 10 to 11 years because I just loved it, just giving service and representing my island as being a Curacao for everybody that meets me. I'm Curacao. Just that idea. It was just pleasure giving me energy every day, helping them, enjoying it. And I thought from there it started the idea like I have so much knowledge about the ocean, or I know so much from my family already about the ocean. Why not share this with the rest of the world and not just where I'm working? And there I take the step of starting my Ranchi trip. And that's where I'm at now. I'm still evolving. My Ranchi trip is still growing, still learning a lot, but just the pleasure of sharing the knowledge of underwater life of my family and what I'm going through all these years is just amazing to keep sharing it. And that's my Ranchi trip is all about.
You know, this having traveled around the world, one of the most valuable things that I feel any visitor to an island such as Curacao can have is that personal touch that you are offering, which is an infusion of an understanding of the local community, the ways that things work in a foreign nation, to that visitor, an appreciation for the beauty of culture, as well as the human-ocean connection. And no one is better placed than someone who grew up in a fishing family to understand the connection between human beings, especially people who live in that nation, with the local ecosystem and the ocean. Have you seen a change or a difference since you were a young boy to now with regard to our ocean world in Curacao?
Yes, I've seen a change. I can say that for sure, but only in the past 3 to 4 years, I must say. Also, one of the biggest reason I did start my ranchi is to see a change, because my family always taught me, if you want to change something, you have to be the change. So that's why I started it. And growing up in my family, I must say, on the island, knowledge is very scarce, I can say. Like, to how to maintain our world, keep our world a better place, what is important to us. We don't find that so much in school, but it is changing right now. I must say that what I'm saying the last few years is a lot of change. But I didn't grow up with that knowledge. So they didn't teach me how to take care of the ocean, nothing of that. Growing up in my family, for example, just one small example can show you. We go fishing in a small fishing boat, like 9 feet, with a small motor of 5 horsepower or something. And while we are fishing, maybe my uncle will throw out some bait in the water, and with that bait, he throws some plastic with it. Because for him, it's the knowledge that he had is like the ocean is endless. So if you throw it in the ocean, it will wash away. But on the same time, he's still trying to eat that same fish that will eat the plastic in the end. So growing up with that, I didn't understand it so much. And that brought me to foreign, like to Europe, to give me much more knowledge, studying. And that opened my mind a lot more. And that is what I wanted to share with the locals, especially also. Like, if we are living from this, we have to sustain it. And first, I started bringing it in my family. So trying to tell them about it, give them more knowledge, especially through pictures or videos, stuff like that. Because also one thing is, a lot of locals grow up, like my grandmother and stuff like that, they cannot swim. But that's also part of our history. All because of slavery time, and everything is all deep imprinted into us. And with that knowledge, with my photography, people that don't go underwater or stuff like that, I could show them and teach them about it, make them care more, find more beauty in it than they know already. And that way, maybe change them and help them see that plastic is breaking our world, and keep it out of the system bit by bit. And I like it.
Mayrond, you're an inspiration. This is you hit the nail right on the head of some of the fundamental problems. Is you know, I get a lot of lessons and aspire and inspiration from local fishing communities, because in many ways they know the area much better than other people, including scientists in some cases. They
Yes.
are very connected to the local environment. They depend on the local environment, a healthy local environment. But as you mentioned, there's also sometimes a disconnect with the fact that this planet and local ecosystems even are a closed loop system. And whatever we do to the local ecosystem comes back to eventually to haunt us. And so what you're doing for education, both for the local people and the tourists, the visitors, is absolutely fundamentally important. And that's something we can't forget, is that story around the campfire perspective, where we share the knowledge with
Yes.
others so that they can become better citizens and better caretakers. And so this is fantastic. And what you're doing is fantastic.
Thank you,
Um,
man.
what are, you know, if I were coming as a visitor to to Curacao, and my mindset is very specific. I always want to leave a place better than I found it. And I think that the richness of being a visitor in different parts of the world is to share in all these things that you mentioned, as well as participating in helping. Yes. How can a visitor to Curacao, for example, going with you as a tour guide, help in some of the efforts that you're doing?
Well, I say my vision of helping is through photography and beauty. It's when I take them out for a snorkeling, for example, I take them out snorkeling. I tell them about the underwater life. I share my experience, tell them about what they're seeing, and also what they do. And usually when we finish, I always take some time and relax. Because on the island, as you heard, we don't like to rush things. We're always doing easy stuff here on the island. So we call it poco poco, we take stuff. So very easy. So after the snorkel, we just take relax, have some fruits and talk and discuss. And so I can share my experience of what I just told you with my family and my uncles, so fishing. So they know about it. And all the pictures they get are included. So those pictures are the point of my view that they will share with others to create a better environment. Just so others can see that beauty, where they share it with their family or a friend at office or their son, their daughters, their grandfathers, anybody they share it with, they will share a beauty of the ocean, and that is unforgettable, I think.
I love this, and if you haven't done this specifically already in the experience that you're offering the tourists, you should have a specific poco poco time to sit down with your family and the locals and yourself to just share stories and exchange ideas and all this. This is fantastic. Yes. What do you see for the island of Curacao in the next 10 to 20 years?
I must say, I see a lot of change. I see a lot of big shift coming in the new young people. A lot of more knowledge, especially thanks to internet, especially. Things are shared much more easily. People see stuff much more easily. I see a lot of change, and the island is going the right way. So I just hope it ends up in the right hands, like in government-wise and stuff like that, so we can really help and protect. Yes, I'm seeing now, a good positive change for the next 20 years, I must say.
Well, that's good news, because we need good news out there, and we need people to create that good news, such as yourself. Now, you're a young person, and you have a lot of passions. I noticed that you're not on the ocean right now. You're at a farm. What's gotten you into the farming aspects of things? This is exciting.
Yes, well, it is growing up as the ocean, just living from the ocean. My parents always, my grandfather and great-grandfather, they're natives. They come from Bonaire, from South America originally, and then Bonaire, and from Bonaire to Curacao. And even if you look at my grandma, she still look like an Indian woman with her braids on the side, really beautiful. I love it. And that got me into farming, because back in the days, my family really used to only live from their own stuff. They never had to go to the grocery. So they used to be planting and do all those stuff. And it got lost through the generations, I must say. I call it in the system. You know, the system prints you in such a way that you must go to school, you must get a job, you must be part of something. But we forget our culture like that, how our culture really is, who we really are. And I'm just going back to that, I must say.
That's fantastic. I mean, the identity, the cultural identity, and just the identity of being Caracaoan is for tourism especially, but for yourselves is very, very important. And so that should be part of that matrix, that fabric of life that you offer with your company, Mayrond Trip, and it'd be. I know that I want to sign up. Hopefully, some of our viewers, if they get a chance to visit Curacao. Thank you. That's what I love about the culture of Curacao, is that welcoming aspect is always heartwarming.
Yeah.
What do you see as the biggest challenge also for Curacao and for yourself in the next 10 to 20 years? Is there something that you see on the horizon that we need to address? Is it plastics? Is it overfishing? Is it just sustainable tourism? What is it that we can all take with us on this particular conversation to focus on and to help you with?
I think for the island, the biggest threat is the tourism. The growing of tourism is the biggest threat for the island. Why I must say that? Because they keep building big resorts and they keep building much more spaces for other tourists to come, or much more activities at the beaches and stuff like that. But our system on the island, just like the irrigation system, all go to the ocean. So it's all pollution for the ocean, everything. And I think they need to change that before they can keep growing on the island. Because if we keep growing on the island on population or tourism or anything, we're just going to damage our whole reef all around us. We cannot keep it in control anymore. How our system is controlled, our shit water, you can say, everything goes to the ocean on the island. So that's really not good for the ocean, And how it is right now, like we are a really small island. That's understandable. It's very small for the ocean and everything, but all small parts help. And if we keep growing on a bigger resorts and bigger stuff, all the resorts, all the shit water is gonna go again to the water, so to our ocean. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. I hope the government also take this really serious to stop growing so big. Just keep our culture intact, keep it small, and let the people come see all the riches we have over here.
So quality over quantity in terms of the tourist experience, it would benefit the tourist and it would benefit the local community as well, especially in the long term. I agree. Curacao has to stay Curacao instead of one of many other island nations that have unfortunately taken the wrong decisions in the past and are now suffering from these decisions. And coming from a local person, such as yourself, who's been there for generations, your family's been there for generations, this is extraordinarily important to voice this opinion and to follow, for us all to support it. I love Curacao. It's a beautiful place, and I want it to stay Curacao and not just a random island in the Caribbean.
Well, whenever you get the time you meet me, I'll tell you love it more. Maybe you won't leave.
I don't want to become part of the problem, but I'm happy to come and visit as many times as you will allow me.
No, and I really think you will help me solve the problem.
I will do my best, my friend, and
yes,
we will build up an army of activist people, activists in their mindset, not in other things, in violence, but in action, to help you with your vision. And of course, to shepherd a symbiosis with your local beauty and flora and fauna, as well as the community at large. If there's anything that I missed, maybe you want to mention it now. Otherwise, I think we can conclude.
No, I'm just great honored to be here on this conversation to share with you and the world. And let's make it a better place, I can say.
Mayrond, I look forward to it. Thank you so much. And next time I come in a couple of months, I'd love to see your farm and meet your family and see what kind of stories we can all share together.
No problem, man. One call away, anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful time and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Fabien. Have a nice day. All the best with your goals too, man.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Ciao.